Sometimes on the Corpsepaint Show, we're lucky enough to have the most badass woman in all of radio, and I'm talking about LEXEN DESTRO.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, in our first show of 2020, which will be the best show of 2020.
Of course,
so
because
far. I mean,
I'm here. And
yeah.
The next best one will be the next one where I'm here.
And more announcements coming up. You are here on the Corpsepaint Show. If you're watching on Ultra Toxic TV, did you know we're on Ultra Toxic TV?
I did not.
If you're watching on Ultra Toxic TV, we welcome you. If you're watching on the website corpsepaint.net, you can see us live as well. Or if you're on Facebook, join us in the chat room, and I'll monitor that and relay all honorable questions to LEXEN DESTRO and myself. So, all right, LEXEN DESTRO is on the dungeon on KNON 89.3, the voice of the people. Right here in Dallas, Texas, but you broadcast probably to Oklahoma, down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a
To
far
everywhere.
range. Yes.
And we have that lovely live stream, so we've had listeners in Barcelona and in Paris.
Well, when you say live stream, can they listen to it live when you're... Okay,
Yes.
so obviously they just go to the website.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
KNON.org, hit
Gotcha.
play now, stream now, I believe is the button, and you can listen at anywhere in the world.
Can we pop that up now? It's knon.org. And
.org.
yeah. So you have listeners across the lands.
Yeah, in fact, you can listen right now. You can hit it. There's a listen now up in the top right.
Top right.
And any time of day. I'm not sure who's on right now. It's Sunday night. I know later we have our Reckless Rock Radio.
Reckless Rock
dudes.
Radio. Yeah.
But
yeah,
oh my
so
gosh,
Spicoli and Lou will be
yeah.
later tonight. They go on at like 10, right?
I believe it's 9.
Yeah. Or 9.
No, I could be wrong.
All right, so look, and then also if you missed a show, like you were on last Sunday, okay, so that was
Correct.
6 days ago. So then you can go to, where do we go? We go to, because I did this a few days ago.
Oh, I forget. I usually go to radiofreeamerica.com, but I believe if you scroll down, I think there's a button for it, perhaps at the bottom, or maybe
And,
not.
yeah, okay,
But
so.
it is radiofreeamerica.com.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, no,
So it
keep
has
going,
all
keep
of
going.
All of our shows archived for the last 2 weeks. Everything on
On-demand
KNON,
streaming.
too.
Yeah, right there,
you go.
on-demand streaming. And, yeah, totally cool. So our engineer tonight is Jason Stark from Stark Enterprises.
How cool.
He takes all our direction and does everything for us. So, yeah, thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
I make you all look good.
You sure
There he is.
do.
That's what I do.
Look at him. He's a bass guitar player.
Oh, no way.
And yeah,
I am.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh,
And
So I did it because nobody cares about bass.
oh
playing.
yeah.
That's why I picked it.
I always appreciate
They're like, you want to
the
be a
bass
singer,
players.
guitar player, drummer? I was like, no. Which one can I stand in the back and nobody pays attention to? That's what I.
KNON the dungeon. So look, I've talked enough. People want to hear you and see you.
Oh,
First
all
off,
right.
when is it on, and when are you on? And tell us, exactly what you should do if you want to listen.
Well, we are on. It's every Saturday night on 89.3 FM. That is KNON. And the show is called The Dungeon. So every Saturday night from midnight to 4 a.m., it's all metal all night long. It's all extreme underground metal. So don't call me and ask to play Five Finger Death Punch or Slipknot, because it's not going to happen. And then I'm going to know that you've never listened to the show. But it's speed metal, death metal, thrash metal. It's death metal and black metal mainly, but Raven, he loves his like power metal and stuff. So there's all kinds of folk metal, really anything that's interesting, underground, extreme, and doesn't suck.
Yes, indeed.
And I will come on at 1 a.m. It's every other Saturday. I'll do a 1 a.m. black metal spot, so it's a full hour block of nothing but extreme black metal, the most extreme.
Only black metal.
Only.
for your segment. Now, we need to give proper props to Raven right now. And in fact, he just commented in the chat room, said, Corpsepaint show just got groovy, baby.
Oh,
so,
groovy, baby.
So, all right. Shout out to you, Raven. Thank you for being you and for doing your, the Dungeon show for so many years, man. And then you incorporated Lexen for black metal. But Raven plays sinister extreme metal for 4 effing hours.
Yeah, that's all he does all night long on Saturday, and it's for your listening pleasure. but yeah, he is definitely dedicated to the cause. He is incredibly knowledgeable.
Oh my God!
Everything. And metal, it's like learning a second language just to be able to pronounce the band names, but also to know, every song and every CD. He can tell you, oh yeah, that song's on this CD and it's track number 4. And I don't even know how he does that. Of course, he's been doing it a lot longer, but the man is very talented. He is very knowledgeable, and he's my mentor, so I'm very, very grateful that he taught me everything.
We love you, Raven.
Love you, Raven.
Love you, Raven. Yes, Mr. KNON, the Dungeon. And, just for years I've been listening to him, and I always, I don't know, it just seems like his voice gets in my head sometimes, like, you are locked in, long pause, the Dungeon.
Yeah, he's the best at that. But yeah, the voice is, it's totally a voice. And it's very distinctive, and I have been peer pressuring him to go do voiceovers for like anime and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we have Funimation there in Fort Worth, but like the second I
Hey,
met
this is
him,
our
I'm
overhead
like,
cam. No, you have to wave, Lexen. Yeah, it's right up there. It's our hover cam.
Cool. Anyway, I think Raven should be an anime villain, and it's entirely possible. So get your demo together.
Yeah.
Now.
Come on, Raven.
But don't you think, did you ever watch any anime or anything?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wouldn't he be the perfect anime villain?
Yes, he would. I tried out for some parts at Funimation and never got him.
Oh.
But no, Raven's much different, and obviously, his voice could be a villain. You're right.
Oh yeah, and it's really competitive nowadays. I remember, I don't know, when they kind of started doing all this stuff, and when I was younger, it was like the early 2000s or something, and I was looking into it, and they would kind of take anybody off the street. But now it's very, it's a very exclusive club, and you have to really be talented. You have to have your demo.
A lot of demos.
You have to have your experience.
Classes, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, and they want to see an actual resume where you have played like a lot of different characters, so you can't just walk up having a radio demo like I do. Although Raven could, because he's got years and years and years of this.
Yeah. So look, would you explain the 2 a.m. Cannibal Corpse chopping block to me?
Yes.
So. Obviously, did he do that so that people who are leaving the bar at 2 a.m. and are drunk are listening to it on their drive home, I guess, or
I don't know if that was the intention, but that seems to have worked out really well, because that is about when everyone's kind of wrapping up their night,
and it's
getting
every
in the
Saturday,
car, every Saturday, and everyone likes Cannibal Corpse. You get in your car, you turn on the radio, you hear your favorite Cannibal Corpse song, so that's like the best drive home ever.
Many a night driving home from Deep Ellum. There, I turn it on, and there it is. It's Cannibal Corpse chopping block.
It is
from Raven.
Reliable every Saturday.
Is the Cannibal Corpse chopping block supposed to be 30 minutes, or is it just he does 5 songs or 10 songs and that's it? Or
20 to 30 minutes, because we have to do our PSAs every 20 minutes. So we'll pause and do a commercial. So it has been a 20-minute block, I believe, in the beginning, but it kind of got longer and longer. And so sometimes it's a little more than 20 minutes. Other times it's closer to an hour. Although lately it's been sticking to the 20, 30-minute block or so. But again, you can't really go wrong.
Raven was gracious enough to have me as a brief guest a while back, and he would play CDs. Now this is an old studio that was hit by the tornado, and more on that. But when you play songs, Lexen, are they digital or is it CD?
Yeah, I will fire everything off my laptop, almost everything. On occasion, I still roll around with a ton of CDs in my bag just in case there are technical difficulties. The laptop fails, or I forgot my charger, or that particular channel isn't working, which totally happened a lot in the old studio. So you'd have to have like a reserve stack of CDs, and so there was some stuff that I just didn't have digital, and we had the giant CD cabinets, so there was like all these wooden cabinets in the studio before the last studio, and they were in the last studio, but they weren't in the broadcasting room with us, so we didn't reference them as often. But yeah, I used to be able to just go behind you and pick the CD from whomever requested what, if I didn't have it on my laptop. But I'm mostly digital, and that's one of the things that when I
That's cool.
started doing
Oh,
the
that's
show,
cool.
I was like, "What are you doing? What are those? What is a CD player? Why would you do that? Why he's carrying boxes, like it's really heavy, a ton of CDs, and I have like hundreds of gigs on this thing, so I'm like, why would you do
So
that?
you
But
kinda
he's
had-
kind of
you-
a purist.
You kind of have your 1 year show. 1 hour show pre-prepared
Yeah,
when you go in. All right.
yeah. I'll come in with I spend a good amount of time preparing it, but I come over prepared, so I have way more than my 1 hour, and it's always there in front of me because I'm moody. Whenever I'm
Yeah, you
making
might
it,
change
I don't
something
know
up.
if at 1 a.m. I might not I might want to hear this or that song, so I'll prepare maybe 2 hours worth and then work it in and then see how long I talk before there has to be a commercial or something. So if I've got 5 minutes, there's going to be a 5-minute song. If I only have 2 minutes left, I'll have a 2-minute song ready.
Gotcha.
Just extra, lots of spare bonus songs.
Yes, and you can say "fuck" on our show,
Oh, that's fucking great.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah. So
so
just let it out, because I know
wonderful.
you've been holding him
No,
in. You've been holding
Can
him
you
in
tell?
at KNON, and yeah, I can tell.
Everyone
instinct.
can tell.
It's instinct. I get into the mode and then you just know not to say potty words and it's probably good. I don't know. I used to work in pediatrics, so then that part of me got really, really strong, especially when things went wrong, because you don't know what's going to happen when there's a kid in there. I mean, they're especially strong when they think they're about to die. And I was the one with the needle, so it was really hard to make friends. But yeah, you just little
things
kid
we're
throws
learning.
a stapler at your head, and it's like, oh, fudge. And it was like really, really controlled.
So, little known fact then about LEXEN DESTRO. She would attack children with a needle?
That's right.
Do I have that right?
That was my job, was to stab children. Yes, with needles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This leads me to a Finnish band, and
Of course.
I don't know if you like them, but it's Lordi, and I like them, and I will
Lord.
admit that. And they have a song called "Shake the Baby."
I don't think
Wait.
I've heard it.
Okay, you're into pediatrics, or worked in pediatrics.
Correct.
So why don't we play just a little brief segment of "Shake the Baby"?
Okay.
But you have to shake a baby while we're playing the song. So
Luckily,
choose.
there's an abundance.
Yeah,
here.
choose
What's
a
with that,
dead
Jay?
child that
You
might
know
be in
what,
front of you.
Satan.
You want this one?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah,
one
be
looks
careful.
very
It's very
shakeable.
dangerous.
He's got like some debris and stuff. So that it's like it's a
Detritus.
baby nail bomb.
It is. This is called "Shake the Baby" by Lordi, and that's what we do on this show.
Is that what all these babies are for? So you can just pick one up and shake it whenever you have the urge. It's
We
very
want to see you
shakeable.
shaking it, Lexi. Lexen.
This is probably bad. I shouldn't have one of these. Hey, stop laughing.
Okay, yeah,
I'm
do
not
it like
kidding.
this more. I think that's a good
Yeah,
visual.
yeah. That's like, when it yells too much.
Look, we got this one. Yeah, shake that baby.
Oh, this is an ugly baby. Where do you find these friggin' things? No, that's not natural. This is the natural way to shake a baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it needs to be authentic here. But okay.
All right, so that's
I do
enough.
wanna-
That was Lordi.
But speaking of babies and pediatrics and black metal, this all ties in. It really does. When I was working in pediatrics, it was a giant clinic. It was a medical facility, so we had everything, and there was constantly children screaming. There was always somebody screaming from either my exam room or a room down the hall or maybe the waiting room. It's what happens is you walk in and everyone's screaming, and it's all day long. So you kind of learn to like drown it out. No big deal, but there's this particular scream. And well, we were also right next to the room that did the circumcisions, and there's a very particular scream for that. Like I could just tell. I could hear it. I'd be like, "Oh, someone's getting circumcised."
I've made that scream.
Have you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and it's very distinctive. So it's when a child cries and screams, and they run out of air, and they keep screaming, and it's just so desperate.
Why do we
and
do this to
hopeless.
children, right? I mean,
But it sounded just like Dodsford. Like it's that black metal scream, like the suicidal black metal scream. It's just the hopelessness and the desperation. So I'd like walk down the halls and hear the scream and be like, yeah, and like kind of get Dodsford stuck in my head. And so I kind of liked that one. Is that
No
weird?
kidding. No, that's not weird.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
a real LEXEN DESTRO story. Look, every once in a while, do you get in a doom mood? I know you don't play it on Black Metal Hour, but at home, I mean,
Oh, sure.
me too. I mean,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
sometimes doom just speaks to me, man. And
It
I mean,
does.
just that low drudge, just droning on and on.
Well, yeah, and you have to have that kind of lower tempo, the low key, the lowness. I guess is that like our metal people? Is that their relaxation?
I think so. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Some
Look,
people have music they listen to relax, like when they're doing yoga. Is that sludge for us?
Yeah, that'd be sludge.
That makes sense.
Doom metal.
Oh, but-
Look, go ahead.
Real quick, before I forget, I wanted to go back to the whole Cannibal Corpse thing because that's kind of that is how I got started doing the dungeon. I was on the show once for, Raven asked me to come on and do an interview for a t-shirt line I had. I was screen printing shirts. It was like original designs and then like metal shirts, bands, and then, the sports team that was local in Denton or whatever. But he asked my friends and I to come on and talk about that. And I was, they didn't really talk. They were like scared. My friend went mute. She had stage fright. I don't know. And Raven was like, "Hey, you're pretty good at talking on a microphone. Would you ever want to do this sometime?" And I was like, "Yeah, that would be so cool." He was like, "Great, because I have a Cannibal Corpse show and it's on a Saturday night and I really want to go and it's in 3 months. Do you think you can get ready in 3 months?" And I went, "Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
sure."
You could be ready in one
So
day,
this
I
all
bet.
started because he wanted to go to see Cannibal Corpse one night in March many, many, many years ago.
Did you
So he
fill in
had-
for the whole show then?
Yeah. Yeah, I did the whole show
awesome.
for that.
Yeah, nice.
And then after that, he was like, "Hey, that was, not horrible. You want to maybe do this every now and then?" And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, sure. So that was especially cool because I'd always listened to KNON when I was a teenager in like my bedroom in my dad's house when I was like 15. I'd listen to like Thrash and Allen and
Thrash
Pledge,
and Allen,
and
yeah,
I'd pledge to the dungeon and get like Pantera tickets to go sneak out when my parents didn't know and go see Pantera. And so I don't know. I always, and if it wasn't for the dungeon and these shows on KNON, I would have been listening to, well, I don't know, whatever popular radio or whatever popular music. So I really, really am grateful to them. And I just remember this one, it was one pledge drive where I like begged my mom for her credit card and she gave me her credit card. And I think the pledge premium at that time, they would give away CDs and stuff. And I was like, pick a few CDs. I was like, I don't know, you guys pick them. And I ended up with the Gummo soundtrack. This is like in 1997, 8, something like that, with, Absu and Bethlehem and numerous other just metal, extreme metal bands that you would never hear on radio in the 90s.
Yeah.
Or like, where does a
Right.
16-year-old kid go to hear stuff like Bethlehem? Anyway, it changed my freaking life. So then
You
I
really
was
have
asked to come on.
all
It was
this
like,
to owe to KNON.
yeah,
about
I really do. So I was absolutely honored when they came to me and they said, we want you to share your record collection with us.
So the
with our
new
listeners."
direction in your life was due to KNON. Then you developed a record collection. You came back.
Absolutely.
Years later, you came back, and now you have your own show, and so
Yeah. So
things are full circle.
yeah, and it's weird. I think about that every pledge drive. I think about when I used to pledge, and especially that one pledge drive where I got that CD. It had Absu on it, and that was one of the first songs that I played when this LEXEN DESTRO. It wasn't always a black metal hour. It was just LEXEN DESTRO, and then I don't know. I was like depressed for a year, and I played nothing but black metal. And then it turned into LEXEN DESTRO black metal, and that's what the people liked. So I just kept with that. But yeah, Absu. It was that one Absu song on that one Gummo soundtrack was one of the first things I played, and it was this whole like full circle feeling for me, and I thought that was really
Yeah.
cool.
This is a great story,
Hey, thanks.
and it's great having you here. You're talented on the radio,
Shucks.
Raven too, and you guys
the
have
best.
you have a great 4-hour block that is commercial free. Let's be clear, everyone. This is commercial free radio
Absolutely.
on KNON, but it starts at midnight Saturday night and goes to 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So
and
is he
then,
drinking coffee? Starting at 2 or 3, and to make it through, or
Well, yeah. Although lately we used to always be in there slamming those double shots and energy drinks and Red Bull and all that stuff. I would come in with a giant coffee and everything. I still do. I have to. He's like being healthy and he like cut back on the coffee or something, and he'll bring me the little double shot every now and then. But I don't know if he slammed his beforehand or if he's just really cutting back that much. But it was this whole cutting out sugar and soda and making me look bad and undisciplined because I can't give it up. But I don't know how he does it. I am like extremely tired.
Can we
I
look
have
at
to take
some?
a nap sometimes before I go in, or else I'm just going to be
No,
groggy.
no, that's understandable. And you got to bring the energy at 1 o'clock, and so
Yeah.
you do what you need to do beforehand. And a power nap, I think, is good for anybody.
Totally.
Take it.
Although there was one time I slept through it.
Oh,
Just once. I'm surprised
Okay.
it hasn't happened more than that. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there was one time I was like, I'm going to take my nap. And then I woke up at like 3 a.m. to a million text messages and I felt really bad.
now, all right. So let's look at some pictures. Look at this. Now, who is that?
I don't know, but she sure is pretty.
Yeah, I know. Look at this pretty person wearing a Slayer and a tank top, and you're at some event, and I think Barney the dinosaur is on your table or something there. But something's going
Something
on.
like that.
It looks very interesting to me. And I think we got a few more. Do we have the live pictures of you staring at Blag?
Probably.
Or
I don't know.
I don't
Do
know.
we?
Ask Jason then.
Jason, do you have those weird pictures?
We got something.
Yeah, we got something.
mean,
And so
I don't really know what it is. I haven't looked at anything today. No, I'm just kidding. Here you go.
okay, so all right, this is the dwarves on stage at
Yes.
Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, and like what? Someone is smiling down there with the long straight hair.
Yes, I look very pleased.
Yes, all right, and okay, I think we have a few more like that too, and it's sort of the. And here you are, kind of chewing on your fingernail like you tend to do, and Blag is talking about philosophy or something like that.
Probably.
You know, and you're
a
like the
celebrated
college student.
novelist.
You are like soaking. Look at this face. Look at that. You are definitely enjoying this.
That's how I looked at blog in the 90s, too. Weird.
Okay.
Aw,
Oh, what is up here?
that's us.
Yes. What a great shot. And there's the Noogie drum set in the
Yeah, I
background.
noticed everyone used the Noogie drum set, even the dwarves.
Even the dwarves.
Yeah.
How nice of Noogie.
Right.
And
Very
this is
generous.
that's a serious Lexen look.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a serious fur coat.
That was very furry.
So
Yes.
I have this weird, I guess, tradition where, I don't know, I've looked back at a lot of New Year's photos and I'm always wearing a fur coat on New Year's, and then that became the thing that I haven't actually really even told anyone. It's just my thing. Whenever it's New Year's, like, oh, I have to wear a fur coat. I have to. Even if it's, like 60 or 70 degrees, which it might be in Texas. New Year's is fur coats.
Okay. No, that's badass. Look, let's make an announcement. You're coming back here in 2 weeks.
Yes, in 2 weeks. What's the date on that?
19th.
19th.
Yeah.
The 19th.
And also, Lexen, so you're cool with coming back? And so, look, yeah, take a picture of everything.
I'm gonna.
Can I be in the picture?
Oh, well, yeah. Wait. Yeah, we gotta do the
Should we put a baby in?
standby. This is important
All right,
All
good.
right.
Okay. Now,
for promotion.
Lexen Destro, KNON, Black Metal DJ. It's an honor to have you here.
It is an
You
honor
you
to be
you
here.
contribute so much to black metal. I've told you this before.
Do I?
Yes, and also let me just say this: we have talked. We both have an affinity for Finland.
I see what you did there.
Good, and so you love these Finnish bands. We have Archgoat. Yeah, the big Archgoat flag, and
brilliant.
Saphirum and Beheret, and we
My
love
Archgoat shirt.
and your Archgoat shirt
Yes.
and Fintroll shirt.
Yes.
We both love these Finnish bands, and there's rock bands, but there's also extreme metal from Finland. And then I showed you that book called we hold it up. It's
Yes.
called Devil's Cradle. And
Yeah. This is so cool.
what is the subtitle? It's like
The story of Finnish black metal.
and
That is so cool.
yeah, I ordered that from Cult Never Dies.
Yes, I believe Nicholas has a copy of this. I've been meaning to get my hands on a copy or just read his. But
Well, and the way I read it is I just jump around. I jump to various chapters, a band I like, and but it's a real good exposure to how unique and committed and talented Finnish black metal artists are, and really kind of the story, the origin of it.
Yeah, it really is a scene within a scene, and the way they do it so well. It's formulaic, but it's also very unique.
And when I listen to you, you find these new, dare I say, obscure Finnish black metal bands that are all just outstanding.
That is my job.
No one else plays that, I feel certain,
Good.
in the whole world.
That's what I
except
wanted to hear.
you.
That's
on
exactly
KNON.
why I do this. That's exactly what I wanted to hear because I don't know, these days you can just download Spotify and it'll curate a black metal playlist for you. So it's hard to come up with new, fresh stuff when everyone's already got it. It's really hard.
You also have a little bit of information about the band.
I try.
And you try and give that, and even if it's just the name of the label or the album or where they're from or what have you, And I know that sometimes it's in Finnish or it's in Swedish or it's in Norwegian, and you're trying to pronounce, and I'm totally for it. I don't care if you pronounce it wrong. Give me the information and expose me to it, and I appreciate that more than you'll know.
Aw, well, I'm glad it's appreciated. And I always pronounce it just fine until I get on the air. Then that's when it all comes out as word soup. But it's hard. I actually did try and learn a little Finnish for a minute there. I had the Rosetta Stone, but it's really hard. Really, really hard. Harder than your general Slavic languages, your Latin language. Everything has kind of a structure. This is completely different from any structure you've ever been taught in high school French or anything. So it's hard to pick up. It's hard to relate back, and it's just they're kind of isolated in the Scandinavian languages. Like that sect of etymology hasn't changed a whole lot. There are influences from other languages, as you'll find in just about any language, but
Do you know half of Finland is in the Arctic Circle? And the other half basically borders Russia.
Well,
the whole country borders Russia.
Yeah, it's a huge Russian border.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I'm fascinated by the country as well. So
It's fascinating.
in 2 weeks when you're back, you have to hold that one up now. And cue to Jason. We're talking about the Finnish Way. This is a neat little book written by Katja. What's her last name? Pantsar.
No, it's your turn to pronounce things wrong today.
Pantsar.
Pantsar.
There it is, right there.
Yes.
Katja. So I've been talking to Katja, and she's going to come on the show when you're back in 2 weeks so we can talk more about Finland. The book is called The Finnish Way, and it's really about the inner source of strength, they call it sisu, that the Finns exhibit. And it sort of can be maybe boiled down to not being afraid to taking the hard route rather than the easy route. This is a country that is covered in snow a lot, and it's not easy, to survive in a cold country. And they have, they're in many ways rank higher than the U.S. in terms of health, longevity, and this is a study on how Finnish people live their lives and the keys to that inner strength and living a healthy life.
That is so cool. I need to run down a copy of this because it sounds relevant to my interests and it does sound helpful.
She's got a few, actually.
There's her books.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
she's got a few books there about sisu.
Finding Sisu,
cool.
The Finnish Way. I think you can buy them in Finnish, and that way you can keep learning.
Because, that absolutely makes sense when you think about the region, the history of the region, and as you said, the weather of the region. It's, back before we had all these modern comforts, survival was actually an everyday thing for most people, but then you think about being in a Siberian freaking winter, and it's got to be difficult, and you have to have, I would imagine you'd have to have that attitude of, it's going to be okay, and I'm strong, and I'm going to get through this. And
You're kind of a history buff, aren't you?
a little, I suppose, yes.
Finland, World War II history?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So were they invaded by Russia?
Yeah, I mean, really, ever since Peter the Great, they have been getting fucked with by Russia.
They've been okay.
Because, and I don't know, that's the other thing too, to understand why Finland is so strong and so badass. You have to look at the history and look at the history of all of that. So really, truly, ever since Peter the Great, he really liked boats, and he decided that he wanted a port, and he was going to make Finland that port, because he put St. Petersburg right next to the Finnish border. He's like, I'm just gonna take this, and the Finns are like, no, bro, we're just trying to be Finland. Like, just you have all of Russia, literally. It's like, I don't know, it's like Finland's like Russia's Alaska. It's this tiny thing in the northeastern corner, and they have always been covetous of that land and that port. So Peter the Great was like, I'm just gonna build a dock there. And the Finns were like, dude, no, fuck off. Right about that time, he was ass raping King Charles of Sweden, just completely took him out. And the Finns were like, oh, a dock. Oh, yeah, sure. Just park him over there. Fuck. And I don't know. It seems like really ever since then, it was this tug of war for Finland's land and Finland's independence. And it was mainly Russia that was the aggressor.
Oh, look,
so, yeah,
there we
you
go.
have it right there. And it's a huge border there. The border's Russia. And St. Petersburg is right there. That is the capital. So Russia has always been like, well, we'll just take this. And Finland's always been like, bro, stop. So, and that was going on immediately before the war. Wait, let me think. So Russia did annex Finland. They got their independence. No, Sweden sold Finland to Russia. And then they got their independence in like 1917. And then they were engaged in civil war because you had whatever loyalists on either side, Finland, Russia, people loyal to Sweden. And so it erupted in civil war. Then came World War II. And it kind of...
It's been a country been through hardship,
Yes.
yeah, the overview here.
And so they had a neutral stance, but again, Russia was like, we're gonna take this land. They wanted certain points along the border for strategic whatever, and probably that port again. And again, Finland was like, fuck off. We have our own shit going on right here. We don't have time for this. And they had a non-aggression pact, and this is kind of an interesting story. Because Finland was dealing with Finland and Russia was dealing with an awful lot at this time, right around 1939 or so. And they claimed that Finland had bombed one of their towns. They shelled a town so that they were able to break their non-aggression pact, and they invaded Finland. And it was later found out that Russia shelled its own town so that they could break that. And they were kicked out of the League of Nations for that.
False flag.
Exactly. And so then initiated the Winter War. So for World War II, Finland had 3 different wars. It was the Winter War, was the initial war against Russia. The Continuation War, where they fought alongside the Nazis against Russia. And then the Lapland War, where they were forced to push the Nazis out by the Allies. But, so the Winter War is very interesting because they had the worst...
So we think of it as one war, World War II, but you're saying it for Finland really was 3.
Yes, and it was, a different set of agendas. So they're, again, just trying to push off Russia. And again, it's
And then
like
push
if
out Nazis.
North America tried to invade Alaska, and they really held their ground. It was an amazing show of strength from the Finns to fend off the millions and millions of troops that Russia could throw at them. And they could rotate the troops on the border and everything. They had better
endless
artillery.
supply of soldiers. Endless supply of soldiers from Russia.
And this was also one of the worst winters on record, and it's odd to say, but the Russians weren't prepared for that weather. They were better equipped than the Finns, but the Finns were better able to maneuver, and so they had all their
They know how to fight in the
artillery,
snow.
They had tanks.
They know how to hide in the snow.
Exactly.
And
so
dress
they had
in white.
uniforms.
Yeah.
They were familiar
And that
with
was
the
a great
terrain.
advantage.
And the terrain.
The Russians were still wearing their kind of dark khaki colors, and they had, again, tanks and artillery, so it's not very subtle. And the Finns were able to ski up on them and throw a crowbar in the tank, throw a Molotov into the cockpit, ski away, and do incredible amounts of damage.
And we're talking about cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
So this is immensely strong Finns who, you know how hard it is to cross-country ski? Oh my God.
And carrying all that gear.
And then carrying gear and carrying a grenade and throwing it in a tank and then ski away. That is amazing. And they look like snow bunnies.
They do. They're adorable. And they had that one sniper, the White Death, and he had 505 confirmed kills. He's the most deadly sniper in history, and it was a Finnish sniper in the Winter War.
We have to continue on this in a couple of weeks when you're back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And we're going to talk to Katja, who she'll be calling us from Helsinki
That is so cool.
or nearby. And they're in the dead of winter right now, as you know.
I can't imagine. I am so Texan that
So what we want to do is when we have the video call with her is hopefully she can put the camera out the window so we want to see.
I don't need to see it.
Yeah, I
It's
do.
a bunch of white.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
It'll be,
Actually,
it'll be
I
late
haven't.
at night, though.
Being a Texan, I hardly even believe in snow. Like that, anyway. I've just never seen anything like that.
Yeah, it does
What,
exist.
do you believe in snow?
I've seen snow, yes.
Maybe
It's real.
like that slushy ice crap, but...
No, that's not snow. That's just ice.
Exactly. I don't even know if I've ever even seen snow. Okay, that's not true. I exaggerate
You have.
for effect.
Well, you've seen a little bit here.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
It's not anything significant.
So Gabrielle
Can't build a snowman.
McKinley said, "What's up, everyone?" Richard Nettleton said he still struggles with English language. And Alex Nigo, definitely shout out Alex. We appreciate you watching. The beautiful LEXEN DESTRO is here from KNON 89.3, the voice of the...
That's the voice of the people.
That's it.
The beautiful DJ Satan, here every Sunday. It's every Sunday at 6 p.m.
Yes.
And how long have you been doing this?
You know what? We started in 2016.
Oh, wow.
At the end of 2016. So it's a full 3 years plus right now. Yeah.
So
We've
I know
had
a
some
lot of
great
people
guests.
come on the show and you interview them. You've had Raven on the show before. That was way cool.
We actually had, what's his name from Impaled Nazarene?
That is so cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. And
He was proud to talk about his beer that they have named after him.
Or
was it a wine? I'm trying to remember.
Impaled Nazarene. Oh, I can't remember. Was it a wine?
Maybe it
I
was
just
a
know
beer.
I saw it and was
Yeah.
like, I want that, and then promptly forgot all about it. They're from
Definitely.
Finland.
Yeah, indeed. So, I don't know, we drifted towards Finland because both you and I appreciate Finnish bands. And, this book points out that a Finnish person would rather ride their bike to go somewhere than jump in their car. And we're the opposite in this country.
Yeah,
They are
total
okay
opposite.
with taking the more difficult path. And maybe that is because of all of the tribulations the country has been through. It's part of their inner being, I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
absolutely. When you consider the history of it all, it definitely makes sense. Although I think most other countries are cool with taking the bike or walking or public transport.
You're right. A lot of
we're-
European, you're right.
We're the only ones who insist on being fat and lazy.
And that's why I like talking to European or Nordic bands when they come over to America. Like, I want to know their impression.
Yeah.
so-
What sort of answers do you get?
That things are bigger in Texas, and we have good truck stops and stuff like that.
Oh, that is absolutely true.
What have you got on your laptop? Kind of point out to us maybe some of your more favorite or interesting or wild, crazy, intense Finnish bands right now, or any black metal. What do you listen to right now in there?
Oh, right now. Right now, one of the Finnish bands that I'm really, really into is Sarastus. Sarastus, Sarastus. From Finland, it's a two-piece. It's kind of lo-fi, but it is so true. It's raw, and it's got that, I don't know, that lo-fi, dirty sound.
You
And
like
it's-
that?
I do.
You're Dark Throne all the way, aren't
Absolutely,
you?
yeah.
Oh my God!
And I love, the black metal with the really, really good production factor. But if you listen to my show, you'll find I play a lot of the older stuff, a lot of the lo-fi stuff, a lot of the raw stuff.
So it's not so
And,
much Rotting Christ on your show. It's
I play
more.
Rotting Christ, but yeah, more towards the other stuff. The more underground, the more gritty. I just
Gritty.
like it gritty and raw. But I really like Sarastus a lot. It's one of the guys from Sarkrista, so I guess they're only half Finnish. I think the other guy is German.
What?
But they're really cool, and they have like little ninja face masks and hoods, so they look like rogues from World of Warcraft. I call it rogue metal, as opposed to wraith metal, because
And-
that's a thing. They're not quite wraith in their costuming, but it's more. It really reminds me of a rogue.
I remember when I was listening to your show, and I listened to it after on the on demand.
Mm-hmm.
You played some Gareia from Portugal,
Ah, yes.
and they wear that mask.
Yeah,
no
have
one
a-
knows what they look like.
Yeah, they have the. It's like a full face mask that's
Shroud,
black, but they have
yeah. Mm-hmm.
these like Solomon seal sigils over the masks, and that looks really cool too. This is like a whole new
So
fashion in this
right.
scene.
So black metal, it was Corpsepaint, and then it became Shroud, and then it became
Yeah.
complete cover. Yeah, we don't know what you look like at all.
I'm into it. I like
I
it.
am
It's
too.
very spooky and
Right.
mysterious, and
And then maybe in their daytime they're a normal person, but then you hide your appearance, and you're totally insane
Yeah.
black metal artist. at
very
gigs.
interesting. And there's another newer Finnish metal band that I've been listening to, Disciples of the Void, and they have the wraith look, the Void Boys, I call them. But they have that look. They're also the kind of lo-fi type stuff. Very good.
Disciples of the Void.
Disciples of the Void. I believe they only have the one album out right now.
What this book pointed out, Lexen, is that that not that they would make fun of Norway and Sweden, Swedish bands, but that in Finland the Finnish black metal artists were totally okay with making a awesome product. I say product, but I mean, their music, and not having it necessarily be played or be commercial or be promoted or anything like that. And what am I trying to say? I guess just that the other countries, their black metal approach was, hey, let's try and get on big tours, let's try and go to America,
Yeah.
let's try and get played everywhere. Whereas in Finland, it's just the art of what it really is.
Yeah, exactly. It's the self-expression and the art and the principle of the matter. It seems to be a lot of the reasoning, not so much the fame and the glory, which it must be difficult to pursue for any black metal band. You can't really get into it thinking, I'm going to be rich and famous, but
you're not going to be.
But of course, you want to try and perform and promote yourself and promote your stuff. And
Lexen, if you've got a song in here, it needs to come out.
Excellent.
We say that all the time on this
Absolutely,
show.
yeah.
If you're a
It's
black
very
metal
important.
artist, you're growing up in Finland, you've got some darkness in there. Let it
Yeah.
out. We want to hear it. Lexen wants
we
to
need
play
hear
it.
I want to hear it. I want to play it.
Jennifer said that it's extremely difficult to learn Finnish because
Yeah.
it's not an Indo-European
Yeah.
language. So
Yeah, there's nothing you can really relate it to. So you kind of have to start from the absolute beginning of speech and talking and grammar and everything. So you just wipe everything out of your head and try to approach. And it's very difficult.
doesn't it make you appreciate all the bands we meet from Norway, Sweden, Finland, anywhere? They can also speak English.
Yes, it is something I definitely noticed. Well, like early on getting into black metal, and you had a lot of black metal that was like, fuck America and fuck the West and true cult only. I'm like, yeah, but half of your stuff is in English, so what is that about? And I've kind of, I don't know, I've pondered on that before. Is that so they can reach a larger audience? Is that because it sounds cooler? I mean, well, just not to learn the language, but to perform in the language.
You're going to be back in 2 weeks.
Yes.
We'll talk some more about Finland and Finnish bands
Excellent.
and all.
And the war.
And the war. Okay.
You want
We'll
to know
talk
a
to
fun
Katja
fact?
about it. Yeah, fun fact. Go ahead.
Fun fact, the term Molotov cocktail was actually coined by the Finnish in the Winter War against the Russians.
When they
So-
would attack the tanks?
Yes, and it was a foreign minister at the time was named Molotov.
Oh.
And he was not cool at all to the Finns. Like, they had this whole big back and forth before they were actually invaded, but he was sending bombing raids and telling the Allies and the West that it was humanitarian aid. So he was dropping bombs, and the Finns called it the Molotov bread baskets, because he said he was bringing food. So when they filled their glass bottles with incendiary material and were throwing them in the tanks, they called them a Molotov cocktail to go with the bread basket.
Gotcha.
But
I did not
yeah,
know that.
isn't
All
that
right.
interesting?
The things you
Very
learn on the
interesting.
Corpsepaint show.
Yes, that's your trivia for the day.
Yeah, especially from LEXEN DESTRO.
Yeah, full of useless
hey,
trivia.
here's what we want to point out. There's another KNON benefit coming up. Thresh and Allen's
Yes.
show. So let's see the details on it because I don't remember, and Jason's got it right there. All right, so it's in a week. It's January 11th. Tornado
Yes,
benefit at
that's
the Rail Club.
Saturday night.
This Saturday, yeah.
Yeah,
Rail Club.
at a Rail Club in Fort Worth, and he's got a lot of good bands lined up.
Oh yeah, they can always seem to get some really good guys on board for these benefits, and this is still a tornado benefit. We are still recovering from the tornado. A tornado took out our studio.
Yes.
That has never happened. Nothing like that has ever happened to us or me or KNON, and so it's just really
This
still
adds
surreal.
to the mystique of Lexen's black metal hour. I mean, it does.
Yeah,
and
it's,
the dungeon and the Sunday night, Sunday night Reckless Rock Radio because it was a
Yeah.
Sunday night when it happened.
Yeah, that's true. And our guys were in there. Our guys are always in there. It's 24-hour broadcasting. They were in there.
Yeah.
But luckily, everyone was safe, and that's remarkable because they keep showing pictures of that Home Depot across the street that was completely squashed.
Right. It could have
that
been.
could have been
yeah.
our dudes.
Oh my God.
And so it's amazing. We're just really, really glad that everyone's okay.
Where do you broadcast from now?
Well, now our new studio is actually really cool. It's
Is
really
it- is
nice,
it the
and
permanent
it's not
new-
far. Yes.
Okay, and I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not far from the old studio. So the old one, we were like Forest and 75, Now we're 635 in Coit, so just a little bit west.
Yeah, cool.
And it's a very
Good.
nice facility. We're still building out our broadcasting room, so we've been broadcasting out of the station manager's office, and we just have a board, and we've taken over his office. But they're building out you have a nice desk like this, and we'll have our microphones, and so I really look forward to it.
Well, we look forward to hearing you. You'll be next on the air on the night
11th,
of the.
the night of the benefit.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Is it next week you're back on? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
The night of the benefit. Well, anyways, so on every Saturday night at midnight, Raven starts a dungeon, and then you come on at 1 every other Saturday.
Yes, every other.
Pretty much every other
Saturday. So yeah, I have a bi-monthly schedule.
Yeah, very good, very good. Hey, we have a minute? I want to show you. Now, on this show, we definitely appreciate art from other countries. I think you and I are definitely into that.
I think so.
And so I have a couple of trailers. One of them actually is from Japan. It's called One Cut of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like a hilarious. I want you to watch this. Okay.
Oh, that sounds relevant to my interests. Let's see it.
Yeah, let's see it. This is a hilarious a take on a zombie movie, a new movie from Japan. So as you know, we celebrate other cultures on the Corpse Radio.
Yes.
So we're gonna ask Jason to pop this on. Okay, my bad. That was a trailer. That was a trailer for Ghost Stories, a movie
still looks
from
cool.
India. Yeah, and it looks very fun. And now we're going to cut to One Cut of the Dead, which is the one from Japan.
Awesome.
And so my bad. But that one, Ghost Stories, brand new film as well.
That's all right. I wasn't paying attention either. So.
Aha, you pushed the wrong button too.
No,
I
it's
did.
my fault. I told him we do
totally
Ghost
did.
Stories
I
first.
do it all the time, but it's public radio when I do it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody
I tell
can
them take
see
it out
you
of my
mess up.
paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here's One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah, watch this.
Is this like a Shaun of the Dead? Because that movie's awesome.
Really? It's like the Japanese Shaun of the Dead. I'm in.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I want
That's
it.
what it is.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
I want. You son of a bitch.
So they're filming a zombie film, and then strange things happen.
So they're making a movie and then it becomes real. Oh, that is awesome.
I mean, this looks pretty promising.
That looks pretty awesome.
I love a good lighthearted zombie
Are we
film.
back?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah,
All right,
that looks
so-
pretty awesome.
One Cut of the Dead from Japan. Both of those brand new films that are out right now. I think that one is streaming on Shudder.
That is so cool. Streaming on Shudder, you say?
Yeah.
All right, I'll definitely have to check that out.
check it out.
I want to see both of them.
If you watch a show, we'll keep you up to date on all the cool shit coming out.
That's an excellent reason to watch the show.
All right, so hey, big thanks to Liquid Death. I know you enjoy drinking very healthy water, right, LEXEN
I do.
Destro?
It's very healthy.
Yes, because you're healthy.
My body is a temple.
It is. And look,
Why are you laughing? It is.
it is. LEXEN Destro, thank you so much. You will be back here in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When we talk to
We're going to
Katja.
talk to the Finn.
Yeah,
I'm
the
excited.
Finn. And you know what? She's going to talk to us.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we can try and learn.
I mean, I could prep subtitles. But
Yeah,
this
can
might
we?
be- no,
So,
that's
I
not
mean,
going to happen.
Even so, it's really hard to read. I get on the air and I'm like, this is a Finnish band, and the song is called "Oh Shit."
Fun.
Like,
I know,
yeah,
I've
it's
heard
really
you.
hard.
I've
Yeah.
heard you. And you like make a good attempt at what the song title is, and that's fine.
Yeah, you do your best.
Look, the point is, it's going to be like 2 a.m. for her. So we
wow,
really
okay.
appreciate Katja
Yeah.
for joining us in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
2
That'll
weeks,
be,
yeah.
But we're back here. I'm back here next week and every Sunday live at 6 p.m. Central. Big shout out to Ultra Toxic TV and our audience there. Appreciate you guys. And thanks to Jason Stark from Stark Enterprises for running the board.
Thanks, Jason.
And LEXEN Destro.
A pleasure.
And KNON in general, man, for
Yes.
just bringing all kinds of
Yes.
great music that is not corporate controlled.
Exactly. There's nobody telling us what to play, which is really, really unique.
Oh my God.
In
Yeah.
the radio, it's very corporate. They're told what to say. They're told what to play. the commercials and everything. So this is really kind of unique these days. No longer can you really have a big radio station with a DJ that picks up a garage band and plays it, and then they're a big hit like Nirvana or whatever that fucking band was called. But we have the opportunity to do that, here on KNON. We support the local scene, and it's just, here's a band that I personally like, and I think you would personally like it, and from me to you, instead of, payola.
Yeah. Raven plays a lot of local bands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, big shout out and thanks. You'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll talk more
2 weeks.
on about Finland and Finnish bands, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It'd be great to have you back. Thank you, everyone. We have got to run, but this has been the Corpsepaint Show.
Bye.
We want you to elevate your life by going underground. By that we mean supporting independent art, independent music, independent print, independent movies.